Right, guys, welcome back to the Ruck and Maul podcast. This is episode 36. Apologies, the last two episodes haven't been able to go up on YouTube. I've had some difficulties processing stuff. I don't know, but we're back. It's Joe and Harry and I this week. So what we're going to do is sort of move away from what we've traditionally done, which is go through the Six Nations, go through the Premiership, go through Super Rugby Aotearoa, Super Rugby AU. We're just going to principally focus on the Lions tour and who we might pick now and who are the bolters, and just review the Six Nations. As I say, we all just quickly discussed off air. The Premiership was a bit like Super Rugby, bit of a freak weekend, so we won't bother to cover that. We'll talk about some transfers later, as Freddie Burns is returning to the Premiership, amongst others. So, lads, we've just seen that the Lions is probably going to take place in South Africa. So it's going ahead, which I think is a real positive thing. Anything on that before that, or before should we get straight into a sort of team?
Obviously, it's interesting. There have been all sorts of rumoured plans. It seems like the South African Rugby Union are the reason for this, and that it's some kind of rolling the dice to be able to get fans in, and that the Lions, as a thing which is owned by the home nations, is more or less comfortable with just getting TV money, even if there are no fans. It seems like it's in some way reassured. I wouldn't be surprised if the structure of the deal was, if fans, then money is split evenly. If no fans, home nations get all the TV money. That's not impossible. It would be a bit crap for South Africa, but there are all sorts of variations on a deal like that, based on the wording of the statement. But in terms of an actual thing, I was kind of looking forward to it here, but at the same time, it might not have worked if we're now going to end up hosting the football Euros as well. There are so many stadiums, there's only so much national attention, so many professional training grounds that can be used. Doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to watch it on my TV from here, so it doesn't make much difference to me.
No, I think it's good that it will be in South Africa. I think the whole point of the Lions is that the best players, from the four home nations go to those nations, and as I say, they bring with them so much sort of the following traditionally, but also, and as I say, we've had a crazy year and a bit now. Obviously, today's the day that, especially if you're listening in the UK, that we've been in lockdowns since lockdown was the first time that word's been branded around. But no, it's great that they're going to be in South Africa, and so hopefully there'll be be an interesting what we could go with. A lot of ex-pros putting their teams together. I think we discussed way back when we first started doing this podcast, so this is nearly coming up a year probably when we decided to start doing this. I remember off the top of my head that we chose the front row of Marrow, Jamie George and Carl Sinclair. Does anyone else break in that now?
Well, I think probably Wyn Jones. I think of the three, Wyn Jones at Loosehead is the absolutely going to change one. He's been fantastic.
Jamie George didn't have a great tournament, did he? Luke Kandicki took his starting place. Ken Owens had quite a strong championship. I think a lot of people are touting him as a starting hooker.
Yeah,
I'm just seeing.
It's interesting, actually. I've never quite appreciated the value of Ken Owens or Jamie George. Let's say they don't really do anything particularly well. They're very much just set piece, hit rucks, set piece, hit rucks, which was like Dylan. That's all Dylan Hartley did, and Dylan Hartley was fantastic. So maybe that's absolutely all you need out of your hooker. But sort of, yeah, I've not sort of watched Ken Owens enough to know him.
I've definitely noticed him a lot more in this Six Nations previously. As I say, he is like a classic hooker, which is he scrums well, his line out's consistent. Like that Wales line out throughout the Six Nations was really strong. I say he went in 2017 to New Zealand. I don't know. It's just difficult with where else you go really. As I say, I'm a massive fan of Byron Kelleher at Ireland, but I think maybe that might be a tour a bit too early for him, maybe. But he's been fantastic, I think. Or Rob Herring. I think Rob Herring's been quite good for Ireland, to be honest, as well.
Well, there is something to be said in that, because the Ireland lineout since Paul O'Connell has come in as the lineout coach has been fantastic. So it's quite likely that O'Connell will be the Lions store lineout coach.
Mm.
And given that the individuals at hooker are not, there's no standout individual apart from maybe Ken Owens.
Mm.
Maybe they go with the hooker most capable of running Paul O'Connell's system. So I think that one's quite up for grabs.
Mm.
But
it's difficult to really pin hooker down. I think, being realistic, you've got to go, as I say, we'll talk about England probably in a little bit later, because I think everyone's potentially sort of taking it a little bit too far, maybe, I don't know, but we'll come back to it a bit later. But they've got, like, Mako's got money in the bank from the Lions. Like, we know what he can do. I don't know. I think Rory Sutherland will really push him. I think he's been superb for Scotland. I think he'll get on the plane, and it gives them that option. I think what Ty Furlong's done, like, obviously in the week where he does like his Jamal Phil Robinson impression, where he wins the scrum penalty and he just charges off. He's great. I think he'll push Sinclair. And I think if you start with Furlong, it's not a problem, because actually you need the scrum anchored against South Africa, and you can bring Sinclair on as a bit of a change up. I don't know. Maybe then Xander Ferguson goes to the third choice, because I don't think Thomas Francis is quite at the Lions level, though. He is mighty impressive. I think he's, as I say, had probably a better Six Nations for Wales, so tip of the cap to him. But I won't be too much deviating from what we had at the start. I think maybe Furlong maybe edges ahead, and Sutherland for me definitely gets on the plane. But I don't know if he does a lot. I don't think he does enough in the loose to maybe warrant a test start, which Wyn Jones and Mako will definitely do. I mean, Wyn Jones is quite good in the loose, I'd say.
Yeah, very good. I think looking back to the 2017 squad, reminding myself of the sort of proportions that are picked, it's 3 hookers and then 3 props in each position.
Mm.
And then a variety of second row, back row that some of which interchange. But in terms of the front row, I suppose it's most likely to be Wyn Jones, loose head at least, Wyn Jones, Sutherland and Vunipola.
Mm.
But Cian Healy's fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm close to saying Cian Healy over Mako Vunipola. Because Vunipola's not playing that well.
I just think I said this to you a couple of weeks ago. I think a lot of those England boys have played themselves out of Lions contention. Some of them have anyway. I don't think there's that many dead certs. Unless you're Marrow. But even Marrow, I mean, if we move to second row, I thought Ty Burn was absolutely phenomenal against England.
He is. He's amazing.
Brilliant. And he can play. And I think we had Courtney Lawes in our 6. I think I remember this, Harry, said you wanted Courtney Lawes at 6.
Yeah.
I think you can easily play Ty Burn, I think 6. I think against South Africa, you need 3 line-out forwards to complete with the guys they'll have in the second row, obviously. Luke Diaga, was superb against Irish at the weekend. He's an incredible player. Darby said he was rubbish about 3 weeks ago. He's absolutely fantastic. They'll probably have Mostert in there as well, and RJ Snyman probably, and they're huge and they're freaks.
Is Snyman fit?
I don't know. He did something to his leg because obviously he's at Munster now, isn't he? He did something to his leg. I don't know whether he is whereabouts he is anyway. But they've got plenty of second rows. They are big. They're powerful. So my point is that Ty Burn could definitely go and do a job either at 6 or in the second row because he was absolutely fantastic. He does those things you forget are skills, which is like when you hold the ball up in a tackle or in the when it's more defense. Like this is proper nausy stuff, but like just getting across. Or he ran at one point where we took the line out, took the ball down in the air, and he runs around the back. Perfectly legal.
Yeah.
But no one else does it. That's a bit of a step up. So he was really good. Definitely in the second row. Anyway.
Yeah. So I would be happy with Owen Jones has been playing well. So I'd be happy with Itoje, Owen Jones, or a Gray, depending on form, and then Burn at 6.
Yeah, I think he's got to start.
Yeah,
got to start.
If Burn doesn't start at 6, it will start instead of Itoje.
Yeah, on form.
And then
how many games is Mario going to play now between the Lions? Not many. But actually, to be fair, these Pro 14 teams haven't got many games left either, because the Pro 14's over in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, the season's really weird. The Premiership has only got 8 rounds left.
Mm.
We've got whatever this weird European tournament straight knockout thing.
Yeah,
needs to be played as well, which I think will be 5 or 6 rounds.
Mm.
I've remembered right. So
yeah, it's straight knockout. So it's quarterfinal, semi. Yeah, or no, maybe my last 16, maybe
even only 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But anyway, there really aren't that many games left. Where it's the end of March. That is so weird. Normally, I feel like the Six Nations normally finish earlier than this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that's one of the more interesting areas. I think 7 is quite particularly is why isn't CJ Stander at 6? And I think the answer to that is that because he's playing 8.
No, I think he's going to play 8.
In all likelihood.
Or I think Sam Simmons is going to be playing 8.
Sure.
Bolter. Generally, Bolter right now, Sam Simmons is going to get picked for the Lions. Absolute Bolter. And I think he'll go over Vunipola. I don't think Gatland's going to pick Vunipola.
That would be so funny.
I think Gatland's going to piss off Eddie Jones and pick Sam Simmons. 100%. Or we might go really left field and go Don Brandt. But so quick side note on Don Brandt really quickly while you're just thinking. I found a clip of Don Brandt playing for Cardiff Met when he was at uni. He's playing second row. Flipping Nora is all I can say. No wonder he got a contract. Let's put it that way. What a freak.
It's absolutely fantastic.
He's ridiculous. Anyway, side note. I think so. Again, massive performance. Like obviously we haven't spoken since he retired. Interesting, but do whatever you like. You know, he could probably still go for more, but you know, you don't all. The problem, I think, actually, it's quite. It's quite refreshing because a player like him could probably still go for Munster for 2 years. He'd then go to Japan, get a $2 million deal, retire. But he's actually going, do you know what? I'm happy. I've done what I want. He's gone out. Look at his last game he's played international rugby. Maybe not the Lions, but the last game of international rugby for Ireland he's played, he's beaten England. And Ireland have come, they're going to finish 3rd in the Six Nations, aren't they, probably, overall?
Yeah.
4. So a relatively good campaign for them. But yeah, I think CJ Stander for me starts at 8 with Sam Simmons in the picture.
Sam Simmons in the midweek team is the stuff dreams are made of.
Oh, it's really great. Yeah, I generally do think that. I think
And
I think you're a step too far to think Sam Simmons could start for the Lions. I think you're chatting a little bit. Because he's an amazing player. He should have been playing for England in the Six Nations. But you cannot look at him and go, how do we know what he's going to be like? We've watched him play against Italy. He's amazing. He's a really unique player. But you can't, people that will say put him in your Lions team, nah. Take him because he deserves to be there. But CJ Sanders nailed on for 8. And actually, really outside the box, who I thought was superb at the weekend was Matt Ferguson for Scotland.
Yeah.
He's another one. Yeah. I think I'd take him over Billy as well, to be honest. I think we don't want to get too caught up on Billy, but I thought he was brilliant. I can't believe how tall he is as well. He's a big, big unit as well, Matt Ferguson.
Yeah, I would have really no problem with Vunipola not going.
Well, actually, as well, you've got to think as well. I don't think he's going to go. He won't go because what's the breakdown? Actually, if you break it down, what's he going to go with? He'll go with Standard definitely. Faletau will go, and I think he'll pick Sam Simmons because Vunipola hasn't been good in the Six Nations, and he's not going to play. So he'll play 5-6 games of Saracens.
So the team he picked in 2017, the number 8s were initially Faletau, Vunipola, and Stander.
Yeah.
Vunipola withdrew with injury.
And he picked up Haskell, didn't he?
Placed by Haskell. But Moriarty was already there, who could cover 8.
Oh yeah, God yeah. Did he go?
He withdrew due to injury sustained during the tour. But they still had, like, Sean O'Brien could play 8. Not fantastically, but he could do it. Actually, what I really would like to see happen is, as much as it would be fun for Simmons to be on the actual Lions tour, is Simmons and Don Brandt play for England on the tour that happens at the same time.
Yeah, with Rob Baxter as coach.
Yeah, and actually, like, see what those two can do in an international game, because like the midweek team's not really that. It doesn't really give us any evidence. And playing for Exeter, being given gimme tries, is not like Sam Simmons scores a lot of tries for Exeter, but that's because he's scoring all the tries the hooker would score, half the tries their wingers
backs would score,
half the tries their 13s would score. Like,
yeah, but you can't hide from the fact he's a fantastic player and he's really unique. He's so fast.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
Yeah, so I think pick him. I say don't start him. I don't think he starts, but take him. Why not? But I see your point. 7 though is Tipperick for me.
This is one of the closer ones. Tipperick, Navidi, or Hamish Watson.
Or Curry. Oh, I forgot about bloody Hamish Watson. He was amazing at the weekend.
Hamish Watson is really good.
He's so good, actually, over the ball. I think he's the best over the ball out of all of them.
He's good at everything.
Got to get a Scott in as well.
Navidi will definitely go. Watson will definitely.
Navidi will go. Tipperick's got to go.
I think all 4 of them will be picked.
Yeah.
And then whoever's actually in the sort of test 23 will. But
I could see that he'll change that though, like he did at 17 when he started Peter Romani 1 week at 6. Then he changed it, and Peter Romani never played after that. Maybe does the same thing, that he just plays Curry 1 week, Tipperick the next week, Hamish Watson the next week.
Yeah, very possible.
They're all interchangeable.
Yeah.
9s. Am I the only one here that thinks Jamison Gisborne-Park shouldn't be nowhere near this Lions team? Why is he in the conversation?
I don't think he is, surely.
There's loads. Mate, there's been like 4 people. I don't know specifically who they are, but I've seen 4 teams with him starting.
They're all Irish.
Not all. They're not Irish. Like they're not all. I think Ugo Monye picked him was one. I think someone else, some other English player picked him, and then a couple of them were. I think one of them was from Ireland. I think, but I don't know where. He's a great player. I'd pick Conor Murray over him though. If you really need an Irish bloke, and I still wouldn't pick Conor Murray. I think Ali Price has got to start, to be honest. Or Gareth Williams. Is it Gareth Williams?
Gareth Davies.
Gareth Davies. Apologies.
When did he pick it?
It's for me. It's between those two. I think Ali Price has been a real revelation for Scotland. I think he provides zip, bit of creativity. Gareth Davies is superb in that first half against France again, being consistent.
I think it's one of the weaker areas, isn't it? I don't think there are any proper standouts like there are in other positions. And so it's who's performing best at the time. I think both Ali Price and Gareth Davies have both had fairly decent tournaments. I don't think either of them were out of the park amazing. Ben Youngs is Ben Youngs, and the Irishman are the Irishman. Conor Murray getting a bit on, and he has a good game every now and again, but is also injured every now and again. So yeah, it's more of a who's playing well at the time, I think.
For me, there's absolutely no way that it's Gareth Davies. Like, absolutely no way. He can't be trusted.
Oh yeah, he didn't kick it out, did he?
His decision making is terrible.
Well, it's Ali Price then, isn't it?
Well, I think it's Ben Young starts Ali Price off the bench.
No, I have come around to Ben Youngs, but no, it's Ben Youngs versus Faf de Klerk. Who's winning? Faf. Actually, to be fair, anyone's winning. It's Anton Dupont, but I'm surely Anton Dupont's got English grandparents or something. Yeah, I can't think of that. 10 is interesting though. Do I dare to say Dan Bigger?
I think it's more likely than it was 8 weeks ago.
I think he's been. I think, especially in that France game, I think Biggers was one of the best Welsh players in the whole comp,
and in the England game.
Yeah, and Ford is good, but Ford needs Farrell.
No, he doesn't.
Or does it?
No. It's difficult, isn't it? I really like.
Sexton's still got it though, and it's so frustrated.
No.
I thought he was good against England.
His desk runs faster than he does.
Oh, he's slow, mate. He's slow, but
what's going to happen? You know how South Africa used Faf de Klerk as that missile running out of the line to put pressure on the 10. How's Johnny Sexton going to deal with that?
I don't know. Not where
stand another 5 meters deeper.
Do you reckon he'll go? Actually,
Sexton.
Because where's Farrell going to go? Where's Farrell going to get picked as? Or does he get picked? Because by his standards, he's had a really poor Six Nations.
There are no better ball-playing 12s in the Northern Hemisphere. Sort of playmaking 12s. And there are no playmaking 15s. Like, we don't really have a Bowden Barrett, Geordie Barrett, Damien McKenzie type 15. So, but then again, a lot of the other teams don't play with that.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think we can have. I don't think Farrell can play 12 against South Africa.
Well, mainly because it's going to be Robbie Henshaw.
100% it's going to be Robbie Henshaw. I think he's brilliant.
But is Farrell on the bench?
He offers 2 positions covered.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a pretty good position for him, to be honest, in the Six Nations. Let Bigger run the show, or let Finn run the show.
and then
But then
well,
you don't need Finn. Then do
Farrell
you? You either
is-
play Finn or you don't play him. Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? Robbie Henshaw though, dead cert, 12, sorted, chill, unbelievable. Who's he going to be up against? Andre Usertazen.
that's big.
It would be if you're going with the South African logic, it's Damien Delande, but on form, it's Usertazen. I've just watched the highlights of the Murley try at the weekend. It took 4 players to stop him. And by that point, he's already made full 15 metres over the game line. That bloke's a freak.
He's incredible.
I reckon he'll definitely get picked in the team. I think they'd be stupid not to pick him. And Delande's I think he's back now from injury.
Yeah, he's playing for Munster.
So, and I think I really rate him as well. Good, but again, you're going to be up against, well, it's going to be Arm, isn't it? At 13, if he's fit, obviously. And then 13 wise, George North,
Ringrose. I love Ringrose.
Come on, resident centre man. Come on, this is your domain. This is.
Yeah, well, I think I agree. I think Ringrose is quality. He's had some good games this tournament. And obviously, him and Henshaw work really well together. So if Henshaw is your 12, then you've got a good little partnership there. I'm not sure there are many other 13s really putting their arm up. I don't think there is anyone from England particularly. Hugh Jones is sort of fine, but he wasn't starting as either.
He's not there. He's so quick though. I've forgotten how quick he was.
He's quite up and down, quite inconsistent.
He's only just got back in the Scotland team as well, mate.
Yeah, I do think George North has played quite well at 13, and obviously Warren Gatlin loves him, so he'll be on the squad and he'll be around and about, and that might offer a bit of ballast in that centre partnership if it becomes a real bit of a shit fight. But Ringrose is quality. I think he's got to be the top pick, and then it's who you play around with the rest of the squad.
Yeah,
North's great though. I think George North's been reborn at 13.
Well, he's always been able to do it, I think, but he's just learnt a bit more about the position and then the nous around it. I think they just use him differently. But yeah, they've got the thing is Wales have got so many good outside backs that if you want to get him, Reece Samet, Adams, Williams in the squad, you've probably got to play him at 13. But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And they don't really have any other good centres, so
at the moment, yeah.
As well.
No. Watson for me would go on one wing.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players in these positions now.
God, there's a lot of players in the wing. I was going to say, there's a lot of people going to be get Duhan van der Merwe, and I don't think he's there yet.
I'd love to see him go on the plane because he's quality, but I don't think he starts.
I had a bit of an issue with him against Italy because he had a perfect opportunity to absolutely run riot against them. And he didn't really do anything apart from all he can do is bosh. He's got a really good bosh. And he's really fast. And he's really fast. But apart from that, can't really do anything.
I was going to say he made the most meters of any player in the Six Nations ever, but that's mainly because he had a length of the field interception.
He did.
Interestingly, Hugh Jones beat the most defenders of any player in the Six Nations ever in that game. And then Van der Merwe was like 3rd or 4th on the all-time list for that game as well. Shows how bad Italy's defending is currently.
Yeah.
What defense?
Well, then how good.
Terrible.
Wing is ridiculous. Every team has some very good players. I think we could, in terms of the starters for each country, we could tick off who won't be in the Test 23. And I think it won't be James Lowe.
No, well, he's not even. It wasn't even the last Ireland team.
I think he'll probably be on the tour.
Yeah.
All things considered, because you can pick loads of back three, because there are three of them on the pitch at any one time.
Yeah.
Funny enough, so Lowe won't start in the tests. Earls might.
I think Earls is going to go.
Yeah,
because he's so underrated as a player.
Playing very well. So yeah, I think we can do better than Keith Earls.
Yes, I totally agree. Keith Earls is a fantastic player, but you have to be unique.
There's another level.
Like there has to be something else. Like you have to be able to do something.
Yeah, like leader of the midweek team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Then Scotland, Maitland won't go.
Darcy Graham won't go.
Darcy Graham won't go. Van der Merwe will probably go, but won't play in the tests.
No.
Wales. So far we've got Lowe, Earls, and Van der Merwe going. Wales, they will all go.
Yeah.
Realistically,
most of them.
Yeah. I would have no issue. To be honest, I'd have no issue with them starting the Welsh back three. You're going to have Hogg, aren't you? What, at 15?
Well, Hogg will go as well. Watson and May will both go, and both could plausibly start. May didn't play fantastically, but we know he's got it.
Stockdale?
No. Not for me. I don't think he's been out for it. He needs to be playing.
The problem is fullback, really. Is it literally just Williams and Hogg and Watson as a sort of scenario?
Half pennies past it probably. No. What's his name? Hugo Keenan's going to go. Surely as a third choice.
He's a bit young,
but he's been honestly brilliant. I really rate Hugo Keenan. I think he'll go, and I'd take him over Daly. I'd take him over Malins. I'd take him any over the England fullbacks. 100%.
No.
Oh.
I like the idea, but no. So in 2017, they picked Payne.
I forgot about Payne.
Yeah.
God.
Daly.
Yeah.
Who will probably go.
He'll go because he bloody loves Daly and how he can kick a ball from 400 metres.
Left-footed kickers are valuable.
And he can kick it from inside his own half.
Yeah. Noel. I'm listing fullbacks here. Noel. He's not.
He's not going.
And then Watson, Halfpenny, Hogg, and Williams. I don't think Halfpenny will go.
I don't think Halfpenny will go. I think it'll be Williams, Hogg, and Keenan, mate.
Okay. I think it's very possible that the starting back three will just be Williams, Hogg, and Watson. Just pick the three players.
Yeah. And they're all 15s.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think you could be right. Safe bet as well. I think Liam Williams is a great player. Though I'd like to see Reece Zammit, and I think a lot of people go, "Oh, pick Reece Zammit," but too young. Take him, get him experience, and then the next one, please, because he's gonna be around for years. He'll probably go on like 9. No, 5 lines. He'll go on 5 lines tours probably.
Not that young.
Oh no, he's 19, isn't he?
Sorry,
I think he's 19 or 20.
Yeah, I think he's 19. He can look at Halloween, mate. How many's Halloween been on now? Come on.
I don't think Reece Zammit's going to play second row.
Yeah, but how is that man still working? How?
Second row's can go on a long time.
Yeah, but at the level he's playing at, it's just huge. You got to take a massive, massive respect for him. Yeah. Anyone? Any other bolters that we missed?
Don't know.
There's normally somebody weird.
Sam Johnson might go in the centre for Scotland for a 12.
I was going to say Chris Harris.
That's huge. That'd be a big call. Defensively, though, good.
Yeah. And not even that bad in
No.
attack. Like
Yeah.
Gloucester don't win when he's not playing.
Oh, no, they don't. Probably one of their best players.
Yeah. Kind of thing Catlin loves.
While we're on sort of international rugby, England. Rob Baxter wants the job.
Does he?
Wow. Could be. Well, I read something about Rob Baxter was linked with the England job. I don't know. I was thinking this the other day. Someone asked me at work, they were like, would you get rid of Eddie Jones? And I was like, I want him to pick the players that should be playing. And I hope he's learned from this. But as you say, we've said this a lot before. There's not many top level coaches. And we're 3 years out from the World Cup. We know what he can do. I just wish he'd pick the right players.
He has come out and said that they need a reset, and that he said something like, "Oh, the team naturally changes after lines," whatever he means by that. I think he is aware that he needs to pick different players. We'll just see what he does.
There's been quite a lot of turnover, like already, to a greater or lesser extent. It's difficult.
The thing is, though, there's not drastic changes. For me, it's simple that he's just got to pick. Sam Simmonds has got to just be in the squad. Well, I'm not even saying Sam Simmonds needs to start. He needs to be in the squad. That's sorted. I don't actually think Marcus Smith has to be in the squad. That's what I mean. The way that both of them are playing, they've got to be in the squad. Whether they start or not is another thing. But after that, I can't. There's not many others that I'm looking around going, bloody hell, they're better than the other person ahead. If I'm honest. Don Brandt's another one that probably should be nearing the squad. But if you don't play Billy, it's between Simmonds and Don Brandt. Because I don't think Don Brandt can't. I don't think Don Brandt and Simmonds can play 6. Actually, we don't need a 6 because we've got our back row options are ridiculous.
The number one thing for me is making it so that players don't think, oh, for God's sake, when they're going into the England camp. Like, make it an interesting and worthwhile thing to do, because obviously we've not heard this from Paolo Adoglu, but
poor fucker.
Yeah,
poor fucker.
He's been called up to England for what is, like, no shadow of a doubt, a fantastic opportunity for him, working with some of the best coaches in the country, all of the best players in the country, plus or minus a couple, for 8 weeks, a great learning experience. Meanwhile, he's seen every weekend. He
dropped down the table.
Well, yeah, he doesn't get picked for England, and England then lose. He's not able to play for Wasps. Wasps then lose, and thirdly, can't even see his family. He's in this bubble with most of those guys he doesn't know. There are 3 or 4 Wasp players in that team currently.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, they get to know each other, and COVID has made this quite a unique experience and uniquely bad, I think. But it's just ridiculous to pick a player like him and then not play against this Italy team.
Or even just put him on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. That's the only. He's the only other one that I think they need to look at. But at the moment, there's no one else. I don't think that's screaming for a call up. There's guys on the fringe. I think Piers O'Connor is playing really well, and I think if he continues on this trajectory, pick him, get him in the squad.
Piers O'Connor taking the Henry Slade role is not beyond any.
No, because he's exactly the same player.
Yeah. Right-footed, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Slade has a lot of value with a left-footed kicker.
We know how good Eddie is because he's won Six Nations. I mean, won the Six Nations last year, I think. But I mean, as an England fan, we shouldn't be finishing 5th in the Six Nations, quite frankly. Not with the player pool that we have, not with the quality we have. We cannot finish above Italy
in the World Cup final a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
No, but
as good as the other teams are, like, you can't win every game.
No, and it's important because otherwise it refreshes. Everyone goes for it. Even the All Blacks go for it. They have a drop, and then they just sort of forget about it and move on, and then they become the unstoppable force that they are.
Yeah.
Speaking of unstoppable forces, boys, how good was it that Bryce Doolan went over the corner at the weekend? How good!
Great finish.
Oh. Gareth Davies in that. I was saying this to the guys when I was coaching this week. Like, gents, when all I want him to do is straighten up like Gareth Davies did. That's unbelievable. Like, he can clearly see it's a 3-on-2, but he knows I've got to straighten first and then be patient. Brilliant. If we were allowed to pick the French, he'd be in.
Most of the team would be.
He's ridiculous. And well, to start our transfer discussion, he's off to Racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which they then said that means that Simon Zebo can leave. Which is weird because last time I checked, Gareth Davies was a 12 and Simon Zebo was a 15. So I don't know. It's just that's so French, isn't it?
There might be a.
I don't know. It might be a money thing.
Sounds a bit weird.
But I would think from that France Wales game, like, obviously we're not massive fans of the BBC commentary team on this podcast. Us three could generally, hand on heart, do a better job. And I could at least pronounce some people's names, and I can guarantee that I could probably. I generally think I could pick out the best players. I think I know the difference between Vakatawa and Gareth Davies. I think I know the difference between who they kept getting. Like, he kept calling Tipperick Warburton, or not Warburton, Navidi. I was like, lad, you quit while you're ahead. If we all can see who it is, come on. France are good though. And it was the fact as well, which made me laugh, that they thought Bryce Doolan was the worst player on the pitch and got man of the match. Cheers, lads. Cheers, commentary. Oh,
yeah. It's clearly harder than it looks, but at the same time, some people are good at it. Some people are not.
You look at the ITV commentary. Oh, that was another thing. Praise commentators. Geordie Murphy, get him back. Because did you see it when Lawrence Dallaglio said something and he went, I completely disagree with you, Lawrence. Whoa! This is great. That was great.
And necessary, because Dallaglio is often wrong.
Yeah. He likes his opinion. Oh, Lawrence.
That's the thing. He's great for sort of the macro level of rugby. He's terrible at talking about like the specifics of a match.
I don't think so. Because I think he's in a punditry, not as a coach, is he? Yeah. While Geordie Murphy's clearly from a coaching background that hasn't worked out at the moment, but I'm sure he'll get his opportunity somewhere.
Definitely. Just briefly on those matches and sort of the weirder stuff, the refereeing in the which game was it? The Luke Pearce game. Yeah, the Wales France game. Luke Pearce is the new Wayne Barnes. Those they should just make those two the referee for every game that Luke Pearce can run around for.
Unbelievable.
And Rugby would be better for it. He's fantastic.
Yeah. I've met Luke Pearce as well after a night out in Exeter. He was walking his dog back in the day. So he said hello back. He's the second referee I met. I once met JP Doyle walking his dog in Richmond Park. Another fun fact. Also, really nice bloke. That is really annoying. Like how this is what really annoys me, right? So I watched the Premiership. We're not going to get into it because it was ridiculous. There were some referees on there that, bless them, not quite there yet. JP Doyle's not got a job. This is a joke. By all means, like, he doesn't need to be international, but my God, how has he got a job?
Some of the young Premiership refs are quite good.
They are, but they're not as good as JP.
No. Yeah.
And it's a shame that he hasn't got a job.
Well, I'm sure he's got a job.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a school teacher.
Is he? Oh, that's nice.
He's a PE teacher.
Maybe. That's good. Well, actually, so Wayne Barnes, if he's not going to referee any games, he is absolutely perfect TMO because they all listen to him.
Yeah.
And he knows everything and sees everything. And if he wants you to have another look at something, you'll do it because he's right.
Like with Gougegate.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, no, let's have another look at this. No, I think you've seen.
Oh, he just brushes his eye. No. Yeah. Look, Luke. They are in his eye.
I think we've seen something
slightly away with his eyes.
Yeah.
But no, Luke Pearce, absolutely brilliant. Because that was a horrible game to referee. It was ball held up at the line. Was it a forward pass? In the corner. But he's so calm. Right, we're going to have a look at this. We're going to have a look at this, Shah. We're going to have a look at this, Alan Wynne. Boom, boom. Unbelievable ref.
And also, like, you need a lot of confidence to take your time with things like that because you're fully aware that there are 4 million Welsh people sitting at home screaming at the TV saying, get on with the game, or like, obviously in this case, it was specifically to get a French player sent off, so less so, but there's a lot of pressure on referees to have the game run quickly and to get through the game quickly and not spend time making that kind of decision. But the confidence to slow down, take your time, it's very important. So yeah,
last 10 minutes.
I think you'll have the World Cup final.
Absolutely. Well, I think England aren't in it at the end, definitely. Or let them do it anyway. Last 10 minutes, quick one. Can France be the Six Nations champions this weekend?
I think mathematically they can, yeah.
Yes, they can, but do you think they will? Are they going to get four tries past Scotland?
They'll just play. France will always play the same way. It might be they turn it up a notch, but they always play to score, don't they? And sometimes it's the case that they let them in, but they need to score 4 and win by 20 points. So I think it's definitely doable if France really turn up like they can do. It's definitely doable. I think it'd be a great match to watch because France will have to be pushing for tries all the time, and so it'd be great to watch. But it would kind of depend how Scotland front up, really, because if they let a few in, they could do it.
It's hard, isn't it?
So they've got the English players. I don't know.
They've got Hogg. They've got Johnny Gray.
They've got 5 that they asked for, so that's not Maitland.
Yeah, they've got everyone. Maitland's not playing. I don't think they wanted Maitland.
But that includes Adam Hastings. So from the sounds of that, he's both fit, presumably, and
yeah, because he played for Glasgow the weekend instead, and that's why they put Jaco van der Vaart on the bench because Hastings hadn't played, so they let him have a game against Glasgow and they'll play him in this game.
So that I assume that means Russell's not fit yet.
Doesn't look like it.
But that's okay. But nonetheless, I think that probably makes it more likely that they'll score 4 tries.
Yeah.
21 points, weirdly.
France has just got to pick Karen White.
Skinner, he's quite good. He'll help.
Yeah, he is good. I think if Philippe, if you're listening, it's not Philippe, is it? It's not Philippe, is it? What's his name? Gautier.
No
Don't
idea.
Remember.
John Paul.
Whatever. If you're listening, Gautier, pick Karen Wokey. He'll win you the game and he'll score you 5 tries. Just saying.
It's a big call.
Come on, get him in. We should really say we're not going to go too over these games, but bloody hell, lads, the Chiefs have won a game in Super Rugby Aotearoa.
Fair play to him. How long did that take?
Oh, took over a year, mate. 2 competitions. 1.5 competitions it is. Oh, they did it in style as well because the Hurricanes were all over them, and then they went full metal jacket in the second half.
Yeah, big comeback. Damien McKenzie is really good at rugby.
He is. He's got a great hairstyle as well, and he can back it up.
Yeah.
Crusaders won as well, quite comfortably over the Blues in the end.
Funny that. Why don't they just go on the Lions tour instead?
That's just another tour. I just play. Oh. Yeah.
Just have the Crusaders play the Lions.
Oh, incredible. Why not? That'll be a money. That makes some money. That's what they should do again. Get like they did like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago when the Sharks played the Crusaders at Twickenham. Do you remember that? Great game. That was like 65-55, I think it was. Something ridiculous like that.
Like, in all seriousness, that will happen
at
some point in the next 5-10 years. CVC starting to buy rights for these kinds of things, that kind of thing is exactly what they want to do. A sort of Club World Cup of rugby. I can see that happening so you have Lions year, World Cup year, Club World Cup year, and then off year in the summers. I think that's not unlikely in terms of the calendar. Yeah. The Crusaders are still really good. Highlanders have got some players coming back from injury this weekend. Parry Parkinson.
Oh.
A couple of front row, I think. So their upward trajectory will keep going, which is exciting. Okay. Fans back in stadiums as well, which is painful.
They just do it right over there. Those little Kiwis.
They do. They do.
Right, let's do some rumour mills. There's some absolute banter ones. Owen Williams looking like he's coming back to Wales from Japan.
Who?
But not confirmed where he's going there.
No, who is he?
Owen Williams.
Yeah.
No, Gloucester.
He was
at Gloucester 10.
Oh, yes. Thanks.
No problem. Apparently, London Irish are favourites to sign Stuart Townsend from Exeter, which would be, I'm really excited about that. I like Stuart Townsend a lot. So please make that happen.
Yeah. Given the Wasps rumour, clearly available.
Yeah. Jarno Augustus, the Stormers number 8, is linked with Bath. No, it's not. Wrong. Northampton Saints. He's really good.
He's really good.
They need a big 8. And he's big.
He's not that big, but he's quick. He's that kind of 8. Yeah. That would be great for them. Although they don't really need him. Bath need him. It's a funny one.
So what did you say? So I clicked the video on him.
Northampton have Aidendorf and Harrison. They don't really need a number 8.
Well, it's always your tough strength and depth, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. It can't hurt.
George Cruz could be going back to Leicester.
Yeah, good. Work with Borthwick. That'd be great.
Apparently, Stade Francais want Ollie Lawrence, which made me laugh. Read that this week. but
for that.
fair. Obviously, Danny Cipriani's closing in on a deal with Bath, which obviously I wish Johnny was kind of here to give us opinion. What do you think to that one?
They need the backup because Schoeman's done his ACL. There's nothing more complicated than that. They need a body, and Orlando Bailey's not ready.
I agree with you. I think they do need someone. I don't know how well he's going to go there. But
there's anybody else they can get in, is there? So he's
yeah. But also, I think when Cipriani was superb is when he ran that whole attack show. And I think the issue maybe with Gloucester, and this is me purely speculating, obviously with Skivington coming in, he brought in Alex King with him. Alex King's obviously, he's a fly-half, he's an attack coach. You know, you put two and two together, you get an answer, don't you? So there's that.
That being said, Cipriani is also very good when he's, and all 10s are really, when he's behind a strong pack. And Bath, outside of international windows, have one of the best packs in the Premiership.
They do.
So, not unlikely there.
I've just read that Kazuki Himona is going to be playing for the Highlanders this weekend.
Yeah, he's back. He's fit too. Yeah, it's going to be a good week. I think they're playing the Blues. Is that right?
I think so. Glasgow again. I don't know why everyone wants to go to Glasgow all of a sudden, but they've signed another player, and it's the Argentinian lad.
Cancellieri.
Yeah.
Another winger.
Why?
He's really good.
Why go to Scotland, mate?
He's really good, and they play.
Come to London. Come to London. Live in London. It's beautiful. Don't go to Scotland.
Sooner rather than later. You don't need wingers.
I hate Glasgow. They've signed so many good players.
You're right though. They do, but they still manage to not keep hold of all of the Scottish players.
Yes. Well, they've had to replace all the Scots with these international lads, haven't they?
Yeah, but remember when we talked about the Hastings going to Gloucester, and we said that it's useful for the Scottish rugby as a whole to have Scottish rugby players paid a salary to play outside Scotland because somebody else can play for Glasgow. Like, it's useful for Scottish rugby to have Sean Maitland being paid by Saracens so someone else can play on the wing for Glasgow. But it doesn't help Scottish rugby if that somebody else is Argentinian. We need to pick Scottish guys and get Scottish guys to be professional rugby players and good enough to play for Scotland. Because, maybe it works for South Africans, but Cancellieri is never going to play for Scotland. Ever.
He's capped by Argentina, isn't he?
Is he? Okay.
I think
certainly.
So. I think the photo that he's wearing a.
Well, yeah. Nonetheless, there's a point at which you've signed too many foreign players, and it's not.
Glasgow have done it.
Like Bill Matter, great, genuinely unique, world-class player, but these sort of get further and further down the chain, and it becomes a bit unnecessary. But fair play to them if they've got the money. Good that he's got a team. It's too good to be playing in the SLAR or whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever it is. And obviously the last one, Freddie Burns is coming back. He's come back to Leicester.
Yeah. Weird. There are teams that he could be more useful for.
I think I'll always go back to London Irish. I would have loved to have had a Freddie Burns because we need a second choice 10 behind Paddy Jackson because at the moment we don't have anyone. So we need someone.
I don't know if Zach Henry signed an extension, but how's that?
Zach. Come on, Zach.
Get Zach Henry in at London Irish.
He would be so good in that team.
Yeah.
That excited. Our back line with him at the helm. Yes, please.
All flair, no defence.
Yeah, ball player, no defence. Click, boom. Oh, with Cock and a Singer back as well. Come on, please. Yeah, what they will. One of Henry or the Argentinian lad, probably gonna be the Argentinian lad because he's not done that well.
He's gone,
But
yeah.
And I wouldn't want him, with all due respect, haven't been that impressive at all.
No.
He's not a Premiership player. He needs to be playing Super Rugby, probably.
He'll go back to the Jaguares team that's playing in the South American League and be a leader and get better there because he's not young. No. He's late 20s.
So yeah.
Speaking of London Irish backs and all flair, no defence, you see where Billy Meeks is playing?
The Guiltinis?
Yeah.
How good is that Guiltini's backline? Tricky, have you seen this backline?
I've seen bits of it, yeah. Isn't it like Gitto is
Gitto's at 10
there as well?
Yeah. Adam Ashley Cooper's on one wing. Drew Mitchell's on the other one. Billy Meeks is in the centre.
Let me just find the team and I'll tell you who they all are.
I did see a picture that Gitto put on of one of the blokes he's now playing with or playing outside, a picture that the kid took. So he was a kid watching him play.
Here, Harry. Sorry, Joe. Go on.
Just saying there's somebody that he's playing with now. There's a picture of the two of them when he was a kid and Gitto was at Brumbies. So
the 9. The 9 is Australian as well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see.
They've got DDH Van der Merwe, the Canadian winger, was on the other wing.
Yeah.
Billy Meeks at 12, Adam Ashley Cooper 13. John Reinberg, never heard of him. Might be American.
Maybe.
Here I'll go through the team sheet. So JP Smith, loosehead, formerly of the Reds.
Yeah.
Manu Vailanu, don't know him. Charlie Abel, who is the brother of Robbie Abel, who's a prop for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Dave Dents, obviously we know him. Nathan Denhurt, don't know him. Angus Cottrell, probably a Wallaby, certainly played for the Waratahs.
Yeah.
Christian Poidevin, don't know him. Adam Ash,
Scotland.
Harrison Goddard, he's the young 9, Australian 9. Matt Gitto, John Ryberg, who I don't recognise. Billy Meeks, Adam Ashley Cooper, DTH Van der Merwe, Glenn Bryce, who I presume is American. And then on the bench, all randomers. But in that playing 23, 10 of them were American or Canadian.
Yeah. But I also like the reserve tight end is called Frederick De Beer.
It's Fricky. He's known as Fricky.
Brilliant.
It's quite good.
That Guiltini's team's brilliant though.
That's quality.
And they won 47-20, 42-27. They're clearly quite loose games, let's say.
Loose is an understatement, I think. You can watch these games, I think, on I think
yes.
brother sent me a link.
For free. They've launched a streaming platform. It's completely free and they kick off at like 10 o'clock UK time. So it's actually
in the evening?
Yeah. So it's actually not bad on a Saturday night. Not a terrible thing to watch. Especially if it's going to be like big names and lots of tries. Yeah, Van der Merwe got 2, Cottrell got 1, Vailanu got 1, Ashley Cooper got 1, and Pago Haini, who's the reserve second row.
But how sick is that for Gitto, Adam Ashley Cooper, and Drew Mitchell? But like us three and Johnny playing.
Yeah, I love it. And playing in the LA Coliseum, which is an incredible stadium.
Yeah.
As well.
That's a dream, you know.
Yeah.
Fair play. They deserve it though. They've worked exceptionally hard. They've had great careers. Matt Gitto deserves to get paid a lot of money and sit in the driver's seat and not do a lot, probably.
I also don't think they'll be being paid that much. Like, it just looks like
some of them will be.
Yeah, obviously a decent amount, but the salary cap for that is not high.
Yeah, and also, they would make more. They make more money in Japan, but I think Gitto's he's played 3 years in Japan, so he would have made an absolute fortune.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they would they would give them a house or something in America, probably.
Yeah, they'll be looked after and stuff.
So
that's what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah,
Hilarious.
definitely one to watch if you're into rugby. Watch the MLR is the take-home message from today's podcast. We'll be back next weekend when we'll finally have an answer to who wins the Six Nations. I'm going with France. I think the boys are as well. Watch out for Cameron Wokey. That's all I'm going to say. See you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers.